Think of your favorite fairy tales. What immediately comes to mind? Little Mermaid, The Princess and the Pea, Three Little Pigs? My personal favorite is Cinderella. I still remember being about 5 years old and me begging my dad to read that story to me every night. I'm pretty sure I watched that movie on VCR so many times that the tape finally broke. Looking back on it now, I ask myself, why did I love that story so much? Was it because of her little mice friends that could make a pretty awesome dress? Or was it because of her fairy godmother that could turn a pumpkin into a beautiful carriage? I realized that it was a happy ending that made me love the story. Cinderella got her prince. Her evil stepmother and evil stepsisters didn't win. However, the idea of a happy ending isn't always realistic. The idea that good always beats evil isn't true, and it gives kids a false sense of reality. Lend me your ears and I'll tell you about the history of fairy tales, why there doesn't always have to be a happy ending, and why fairy tales don't send a good message to kids. Parents originally told fairy tales to their children, passing the stories down from generation to generation. As those stories were passed down between generations, the story changed slightly every time. So by the time the stories were finally written down on paper, they were very different from the originals. What makes fairy tales different from legends and folklore is that they rarely included religion, specific places, or events that were believed to have actually happened. In fairy tales, the happy ending usually goes along the lines of, and they lived happily ever after. Why does there always have to be a happy ending? Life doesn't always have a happy ending. Sometimes it seems that there actually has more unhappy endings than happy endings. It is not realistic to tell kids from a very young age that things always work out if you're a good person, and that good always beats evil. There are some cases where evil does win. It's kind of hard to think of it like that, but it's true. The message that fairy tales send to kids isn't something parents should encourage. Why is it always the princesses that need rescuing? For example, Sleeping Beauty and Snow White. It sends the message that women are helpless and they need a tough man to come rescue her. There isn't always a Prince Charming to rescue women. Women need to be independent and rely on themselves, not to rely on their knight in shining armor. We need to tell kids as they get slightly older that you don't always need to find your true love to be happy. Everyone has a different path in life, and you won't be happy all the time. However, things do get better, and even though it seems hard, if you work through it, you will be that much closer to finding your true happiness.